What is going on, all you lovely people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mike Ahura, and this is a lovely penguin. Welcome back to another awesome set breakdown video that we got going on here today. We are doing ATEEZ Deja Vu. It's a very cool music video, and there's a few awesome things happening in it that I would love to talk about with you guys. So without further ado, just kidding, go sub to the channel. Go check out the links down below, all that good stuff. You guys know the deal. Support me in any way that you can, and a sub is free, so it's an easy way to support. All right, let's dive right in. For the first part of the video, we're actually out on location. So the very first day that they shot, we watched the behind the scenes, so we know it's day one of their shooting. They shot all on location. First, they shot in a parking garage, both inside of it and on top of it. And then for the second day, they were on, or sorry, the second location, they went to a junkyard. So we'll see that a little bit too. And yeah, there's not too much set dressing on the locations, but there are a couple of cool things that I did want to point out. So this is just them on location. There's not really anything going on here. Probably just the smoke in the background. That all came from a smoke machine. But before we get into that, they built this really awesome, elaborate room, which we're going to see the video kind of hop back and forth from. And first off, the design is just really cool, really well done. It's interesting. They put like basically the flats in reverse up here at the top, so you can actually see the wood beams that are coming through, the struts, some would call. But they just painted it to fit the color scheme of the room. And it looks like they're mainly going for it to feel kind of like a concrete room. But all these walls, they are just flats. They're made out of wood. And then I'm not sure if they just got graphics on vinyls that they then pasted up onto the walls, or if they actually textured the walls themselves. So it's hard to see in the actual video, but you can see it in the behind the scenes when you get a clear shot of any of the walls. I'm going to check out and see if there's a close-up in the actual video, but we'll see. It looks like they made it look like there's concrete bricks, you know, cement blocks that are stacked up with grout in between to make it look like these walls. But at a distance, you kind of can't really tell. But if that is the case, if that is what they did, then most likely what I would have done if we didn't have like a graphic panel that we were putting up on there, I would most likely grab a little bit of like joint compound, and I would mix it up, make it all nice and sticky and whatnot, and get it all ready to go. And then I would just make lines across and the few little verticals here and there with that. It's that simple. You make your rectangles, and then you just wait till it's all dry, and then you paint over the whole thing. And then you get this like gray kind of a feel to it, the concrete kind of feel. And, you know, to give it that extra little bit of texture, I'd probably go with the dark color first, and then possibly spray paint a little bit of white over the top, just so it kind of mists over it, and it adds that little extra layer of like weathering look to it, if you would. But a lot of it kind of falls on the lighting. So like obviously there's lights running along here, here, and here, and all around the room. And then they got the panels up on the top here. There's going to be some sort of actually there probably is no glass or anything up there. It's probably just full blown diffusers, which are just like a paper with a certain amount of opaque, I don't know, it's whatever, like however much light it lets through. There's certain levels of it. I don't remember what the word is. But seriously, for the fact that it's like more or less not that hard of a setup here, it's a really cool looking build, that's for sure. This shot is another really cool one too. It's a big perspective type trick here, where the flower is going to be really close to the camera, and then our guy over here, he's standing quite a bit further back. Makes it look like the flower is a lot bigger. However, the fact that they're both in focus is kind of confusing, which makes me believe that they might have had just like a still photo, or just like a solo plate of just the flower, and then a plate of him being in the shot as well, so they can overlap the clear, crystal clear flower over like the blurry one as the focus gets pulled onto him further back. but that's also not really an art department thing. We would just kind of put the flower in place. So then we also get this little like bedroom scene where this guy, he's got the butterfly here, and yeah, for the most part they got a bunch of old looking TVs. They got a bed here that they're chilling on, laying on pillows. It looks like they have like an old school Nintendo down here as well, but all that stuff totally rentable for the most part. For the monitors that are actually on and working, you got to make sure that electric has power running to those as well, but that falls on the electric department, and not really with the art. We just kind of put it in place, and you make sure that when you're renting out the supplies, the TVs and whatnot, you make sure that you rent out ones that work. So then we got the shots inside of the parking garage. Again, this is a setup that's not necessarily a very hard one. They definitely rented in these cars. You know, those are all probably rented in. I mean, again, they could possibly be somebody on the crews. They could be crew cars, but most likely rented. Then on top of that, they're going to bring in different things like this pallet, the tires, all that kind of stuff. Again, it's all things you can rent from a prop house. But it adds to that little bit of grungier feel to the video where it's like there's kind of a rundown area that they're hanging out in or whatever. Plus, you also got these drapes here in the back that they hung over the pipes. Those are just dirty cloths, dirty or not towels, but you know, sheets and whatnot that they're just hanging up in the background. Just like one of those simple things to make it look a little more like almost apocalyptic or whatever, you know. In terms of the shot here at the junkyard, I'm pretty sure that's just the junkyard. I don't think they actually did anything for this. I'm pretty sure they just kind of went in here, and this might be a lot that they already have set up somewhere that people come and rent to use for filming purposes. I don't think this is a genuine lot where they have you know, a junkyard or anything like that, because more often than not the ground would be far more covered in different car pieces and whatnot, and garbage and all that. So like the fact that it's all kind of like black sand makes you believe this is probably a set that they rented out, but it's like a set that's on location. So we got to see this room here in the behind the scenes. Very simple, small little room. It's got 2 walls, 1 ceiling. It looks like they used Mylar on the walls and stuff, which is like a semi-reflective, like kind of silvery surface. Almost mirror-ish, if you would, but like not fully. And you can get it to be looking more like a mirror or less like a mirror and more metallic-y if you want. So I think that's probably what they use on the walls here. And then all the lights and stuff, most of the waviness is special effects, but they were shooting lights into the box. So those lights that you're seeing, they're in the box, but the effect where everything's wavy and stuff, that was in post. So last thing that I wanted to talk about real quick is the fact that they have a rain scene in here. And I feel like we don't really get to see rain scenes too often in the music videos I've seen. I might just be blanking on all the other videos I've seen. I've been kind of jam-packing videos lately because I'm going to be away. So my brain's a little fried. However, I will say this. It's a very simple process to make it rain on different people. So it looks like they definitely have quite a bit of area that they are shooting on. So what they would most likely have is they probably have multiple sprinkler heads set up. And I've done this a whole bunch of different ways. We've made rain rigs. We've built them so they'd be special and they cover a wider area. Way that we like to do it is just with PVC pipes, and you hook up a hose attachment to one end and then you put a cap on the other end, and then you just drill a whole bunch of holes through it and then pump that water in full blast, and it just sprays out, and it's kind of crazy. And you know, you just got to be careful with which ways you're putting the holes in so that it makes sure it's all shooting the right way and whatnot. And plus, you always want to shoot it upwards. It's a thing most people don't realize. You want to shoot up, because then the rain will have a chance to kind of get up in the air, kind of, you know, clump up and then just drop down. And it adds that little bit more of the rain feel to the video rather than it's just like you're getting sprayed with a hose. the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But it is kind of funny if you're really, really paying attention. Like you could see off to the sides here, it's dry. You know, it's not actually raining up here on the roof or whatnot. I mean, we saw in the behind the scenes that it's very much a sprinkler that they're using. But still, if you weren't watching the behind the scenes and you only watched the video, then you could be able to tell just by that. And then they also have smoke here, which, again, it's going to be a smoke machine. So yeah, guys, that is going to about do it for that video right there. It's a pretty cool video, to be honest. I actually really enjoyed this video. It looks very visually pleasing for the most part. Definitely a lot of really cool things. Their art department did a really good job. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys learned something. And if you did, please sub to the channel because there's going to be more and more of these videos and you don't want to miss out. And yeah, if you get a chance, check out the links down below. It's got all my social medias as well as my Patreon. So if you want to be able to support me financially, go ahead and click on that and join my Patreon. But yeah, other than that, guys, have a fantastic week. Stay aggressively positive. I love you. Goodbye.